Good afternoon, Father Rector, Father Principal, our Vice Principal, Mrs. Shobha Miranda, Coordinator of Academics, Mr. A.K. Das, Coordinator of Activities, Mrs. Maya, Headmaster of Junior School, Father Brito, Director of Prep School, Sister Kiran Beck, Junior School Headmistress, Mrs. Mona Ray, Assistant Director of Prep School, Mrs. Rajshri Vedi, dear senior fathers, former staff members, and my fellow teachers. Today, we are meeting up for a webinar after a long and difficult COVID ordeal. This wave has taken away some of our dear loved ones, and our loss is just too big and painful. When we talk of our loved ones, we talk of the love we share, care, and the connection we feel. We all have put in a lot of effort taking care of our family and friends. Tried to be there and be strong at all times. Coping up with the pandemic, lockdown, loss of our loved ones, and freedom to move out and around has taken a toll on most of us. Our personal, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health and care for self has taken a backseat. To remind each one of us about how important and precious we all are for those around us, for those who look up to us, and for those who depend on us, we have amongst us Dr. Deepak Gupta. He is a renowned child and adolescent psychiatrist at Sir Ganga Ram Hospital. Dr. Deepak Gupta is MD Psychiatry, a gold medalist from Manipal University of Higher Education, and he did his specialization from King's College, London. He founded the Center for Child and Adolescent Wellbeing for providing comprehensive child and adolescent mental health services in 2000. During his practice, he has been recipient of many awards and accolades from various associations, institutes, and academies. He was named in the top 50 global mental health leaders by World Mental Health Congress in 2019, and he received the Mental Health Leadership Award by Golden Aim Awards in November 2020. These are just a few in a very long list. Dr. Deepak Gupta's presence is extra special as he is a Zavarian who has made us proud. And today, he is with us to guide us on how to take care of ourselves during these testing COVID times. Good afternoon and welcome, Dr. Deepak Gupta. We are looking forward to a very enriching session with hope that after the session, we would be stronger physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I would request all of you to keep your mic on mute, and all your questions and queries will be taken up at the end of this talk. The session will be moderated by Mr. Jatin S. George. You can type your questions in the chat box at the end of this session. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. Deepak Gupta. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you, Vice Principal, ma'am. Thank you, Prabjeet, for giving me this opportunity. And yes, always nostalgic. And I can see some of my teachers, Das sir, Mrs. Nazneen Chaudhary, ma'am, Mrs. Mathur, ma'am. I can see some of my teachers who have taught me while I was in Xavier's and when I passed out in 1991. It's been almost 3 decades since my journey post passing out Xavier's. Today we are here for a very, very sensitive topic. Let me start my screen. Now, self-care during COVID times. And this is one of my favorite topics. I like this topic because I believe unless you take care about your own self, you can't take care of others. Unless you don't take care of your own self, you can't take care of the world around you. So that's why the buck starts with you and the buck stops with you. That's the most important thing. So self-care during COVID time is highly, highly essential and very, very important. Now, we know that we have been during the COVID tough times, correct? We know We know that around the globe, the COVID-19 pandemic has impacted the lives of all people in a never seen before manner. When COVID-19 came, nobody was aware that this will go up to COVID, this will go to 2021. And now when people are talking about third wave, we don't know what will happen in the coming few months and 2022. It has become an unprecedented crisis due to its large geographic scope. And the most important thing is unpredictable nature, highly unpredictable nature. Never seen before social distancing, lockdown measures, sudden widespread disruption to our economies, education system. We know that the whole education system has gone through a revamp. We know what has happened to 10th and 12th class exams. We know how the results are coming up. Yesterday only, the Supreme Court has passed, and very soon, the 12th class result will be out by end of July. And the most important thing, the health infrastructure was not ready for it. And it's been an overwhelming. And this is the same thing what we saw in the ongoing second wave. The second wave of the pandemic, which came in the end of March and the whole April and the May, it brought in new challenges in the form of more infectivity, increased fatality and mortality. I myself went through this. I lost my elder brother on 20th of April, despite getting one of the best treatments in 2 hospitals. And he struggled for 24 days, especially in 14 days in ICU, but then also we couldn't save him. High rate of infection in young adults and children, along with limited availability of hospital beds, ICU setups, life-saving drugs, medical equipments. Nobody was aware what is going to happen. Nobody was aware what will really work, whether it's plasma, remdesivir, ventilator, what will work. Everybody was in a chaos. And every day we used to hear some new guidelines coming up. Nobody was. There was so much of anxiety which was going on. Now with God's grace, the second wave is settling down. The numbers have gone down gradually. And yesterday also, the number have come down to 158 according to the daily government, which is 0.2% in positivity rate. But all these things, what happened in the second wave, have put an overwhelming psychological stress among people across all age group. And I'm saying all age group because being a child and adolescent psychiatrist, I have seen impacting even 5-year-old, 10-year-old, 12, 15, and adults also, geriatric population also. All the age groups have been impacted with it, and that has led to a lot of distress and various mental health problems. Now, this is the most important part in my whole presentation, the reaction. Now, when this pandemic happened, so what came up, as I was talking about, a lot of anger. Why anger? Because people were not able to get the right help. People were not able to get the hospital beds. They were not able to get ICUs. They were not able to get the right medication. The medication was unavailable, very expensive. That's the thing is that. A lot of things were coming on the social media. And then simultaneously, a lot of anxiety. What will happen to my near and dear ones? What will happen to my children, my husband, my parents, my grandparents? That's the same thing is that. And this is what I saw. And then what happened? The grief. Second wave saw a lot of mortality, as I told, including I lost my brother. It was such a sudden thing which came up. People were not ready for it. And this grief was absolutely devastating for people. People became irritable, overwhelmed, and they were feeling helpless. They didn't know what to do it. There was so much chaos even at the cremation grounds. There was so much challenges was happening. Everybody was confused. Nobody knew the right answer. I know my own struggle when that we were struggling so much on 20th April night about the cremation, how to be done, what to be done. So many phone calls, so many people had to be talked about, and then we were able to manage. So this is one thing which was happening: anger from anxiety, grief, irritability, overwhelming, helpless, and confusion. But there's also another population, especially adolescents and some of the youngsters, who got bored in this pandemic because they felt there's nothing to do. हम क्या करें? कुछ भी करने को नहीं है हमारे पास. We are stuck up in the four walls of the house. They're feeling lonely, feeling depressed, sadness. This all is happening. So on the one side, a lot of anger and anxiety. Other side, grief and helplessness and confusion. And other population feeling bored, lonely, and sadness. So these are different varied reaction which is coming to the pandemic, which we all have gone through. We all, including myself. One more thing. Along with these things, we have to see what really went wrong. Yeah, what really is going down, which has impacted us. Is it that a normal routine got disrupted? And that is along with COVID-19, because of that, that COVID-19 has made this, that because our normal routine got disrupted, maybe that's why we got into a chaos. Is it that we have to manage the household and profession simultaneously? I come to know, and we have talked to so many teachers that who are managing their house plus who are working simultaneously, and they have to work beyond their working hours, and it is so overwhelming for so many teachers. And which now now they have to raise the 12th class board result. It is so overwhelming for them. So managing household profession simultaneously, no household help available now because of lockdown. All this put a pressure on a lot of people. And along with that, fear of infection, infecting others, family members having COVID, death in the family. And the most important thing I feel, which has happened in this COVID-19 and lockdown, and especially in second wave, is information overdosage from the social media. Excessive social media usage. Every few minutes, something new coming up on the social media, especially in the month of April and May. There was so much bombardment. Explosion was there of the information. People were not able to understand. It was instead of giving them the clarity, it was giving them confusion, a chaos. Also, this COVID-19 witnessed a lot of conflict in the relationship, domestic violence, financial stress in people. So these are multiple factors. And the last important point was confinement and social isolation. So these also factor, along with COVID-19, these were the other factors which also contributed to a lot of psychological issues, from confinement, social isolation, disruption of normal routine, managing profession and household, fears, family members having COVID, death, information overdosage, excessive social media, conflict, domestic violence, and financial stress. So it was not only COVID, there's beyond COVID also. It is not only the infection, it is beyond infection also. So a lot of people got problems not only because of COVID-19, because what happened after COVID-19. Also, because of COVID-19, what happened in their life. So these are the multiple factors which we need to look into it. And this is not true for everyone. It may vary from people to people to people. For some people, it could be only disruption of normal routine. For some people, it could be managing of household and profession simultaneously. For some people, it was too much of excessive social media usage and information overdosage. Some people, it was the domestic violence and conflict. For some people, it was a financial stress. Some people, it was a grief, death in the family. And some people, it was confinement and social isolation. So these multiple factors. Now, the million-dollar question comes, what should be done? Now we know the second wave is settling down. We have gone through it, but still we are going through these emotional issues and difficulties. But what should be done? And there come the 4 A's. The 4 A's are very, very important. Awareness, acceptance, action, and acknowledgement. Why awareness is important? Awareness by knowing what is going on around you. But one thing, be careful. Rely on the facts. Keep away from the fake news. That is important. We'll talk more about it in that social media slide. The important thing is that be aware, but then don't get panicky. Be careful, but don't get overcautious. Understand the facts, but don't keep on checking facts every 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. That creates anxiety. Second important thing is acceptance. Accept your emotions. We are human beings. हमारे में अंदर भी emotions हैं. We also can get happy, sad, angry, irritable. That's okay. But we are not alone. In this 7.9 billion population and 136 crore population in India, people have gone through it. People are going through it. 136 crore population of India is going through this COVID. We are not alone. Current scenario is stressful for most of us, and it's absolutely normal to feel sad and irritable. It's a normal reaction. It's a normal reaction to an unwanted situation, to unwanted trauma, to unwanted disaster. And the third important thing after awareness and acceptance is taking right, appropriate actions. That's what we'll talk about. And that is where the self-care starts. taking actions to take care of your own health and well-being of yourself. And once you take care of yourself, then you take care of your loved ones. That is important. First, take care of your own self, and then you take care of your loved ones. And after that, the fourth A comes acknowledgement. Acknowledge yourself. We Indians are very miser. हम बहुत कंजूस हैं Indians अपने आप को acknowledge करने में. Acknowledge yourself. Appreciate yourself for the efforts you've put forward for your well-being. Mark my words, it really helps. It releases endorphins, good hormones, serotonin, dopamine. And this acknowledgement really, really motivates you to do more. Dil mange more. To do more. That's what is required. So now come, what all is required in the self-care? Now this whole self-care, in my presentation, I've divided into 4 domains. The first domain is the physical, then second is psychological, the third is social, and fourth is spiritual. So self-care during COVID times and still going on, we require intervention at these 4 domains: physical, psychological, social, and spiritual. Let's address one of them one by one. Now coming to the physical domain, most important, that's the basics. That's the basics. And the basic has to be it's like a foundation. And that's what I learned in my school. And that's what I learned. I'm thankful to so many of my teachers, and especially in the medical college, that when nothing works, go back to basics, foundation. And the foundation is good nutrition, eating healthy meal at regular intervals. And healthy nutrition, not outside food, not processed food, not packaged foods, not deep fried. Healthy meals with fruits, vegetables, dry fruits, nuts, seeds, that's important. A healthy meal at regular intervals, that's important. The second most important thing is sleep. This is something which has been neglected, especially in the COVID time. People have been sleeping at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. No, we need to sleep at 10, 10:30. And then get up by 4, 4:30, 5 o'clock. Because that is the best time when the body gets rejuvenated. That is the time when the chemicals get released, especially cortisol, melatonin, and the body is ready for the morning. Our muscles get relaxed, the whole body, and the good sleep is very, very important for the fresh start. And today's adolescent, today's population is sleep deprived. There are innumerable scientific papers out there which talks about that, yes, people are not sleeping adequately. I've talked to so many families, so many adolescents, they sleep at 4 o'clock and then at 9 o'clock they start their work and they're feeling lazy, lousy, yawning, not fresh. That's important. That is coming up. So sleep is very, very important. The third important point is exercise. Exercise, exercise, exercise. Very, very important. Every day, especially in the first half. When you do exercise in the morning, you're preparing yourself for the whole day. And when you do exercise, endorphins release, serotonin release, good chemicals release. And these good chemicals are very, very important for your happiness. All these are called happy hormones. All these are happy hormones: melatonin, cortisol, endorphins, serotonin, dopamine. That's important. Whether you do exercise, you do jogging, you do yoga, that's important. Any one of them. But that's important at 30 to 45 minutes or 30 to 1 hour every day in the morning. And that stretches your body and that makes you feel fresh in the morning. But yes, if you're going outside the house, please take care that you take all the precautions and the hygiene. Taking shower every day in the morning, getting dressed, combing yourself, and simultaneously washing your hands whenever you come from outside, wearing mask and social distancing of at least 1 meter. That is important. So these 4 are the important part of the physical domain: a good nutrition, adequate sleep, exercise, and hygiene. When you do all of them, you're able to make your foundation strong. Once your foundation is strong, absolutely. And that is what I learned. And that's what I've been doing it. And that is what I feel has been helping me a lot. Having an adequate sleep and exercise in the morning and taking care of the hygiene early morning. These things have really helped me in the morning. So, and I've talked to so many people. When you do it adequately, you see you're able to fight far, far better. You're able to move far, far better. Your body says, yes, let's move on. Let's take care. Let's go back to our work because you're ready. Now, after this physical important part, we move to the psychological domain. Now, in psychological domain, the first important thing, as I was talking about, the concerns and worries are natural. But remember one thing, these concerns and worries are very infectious. They're like a vicious cycle. They will merely aggravate the situation. And your worries will not help to heal that person. In fact, it may worsen the home environment. We have to understand the infection is likely to spread through population in unpredictable ways. There's nothing one can do about this. But only thing we can do is follow precautions. If we follow precaution, one is less likely to get sick. It doesn't mean that the second wave is out, so it's settling down, so we should not take precaution. It's still, we have to take precautions. We have to wash our hands adequately. We have to wear mask, either single mask or the double mask. Also, we have to make sure that we keep distance between people of at least 1 meter or 6 feet. That's very, very important. One need to move on and focus on living really life rather than worrying about the virus. What is happening is that people are talking only about the virus COVID or virus COVID. Wherever you talk, whomever you call, they only talk about COVID. What is happening? By Deepak school, Deepak hospital mein kaisa chal raha hai? What is happening to Gangaram hospital? What is happening to COVID? Will the third wave come? What will happen to children? We should vaccinate or not? Which vaccine is better? People only talk about virus. Important is we have to talk about human behavior. We have to talk about emotions. We have to talk about other things also. That is important. So we have to focus on living life. One can try to control other people's reaction by listening and helping people work through the facts concerning the virus. And also, if it is unmanageable, then be in touch with a mental health professional, counselor, a psychologist, or psychiatrist if it's interfering. Now, what are the various things we can do? These are some of the various things which we can do. The first thing is that I was talking about, keep informed. So listen to advice and recommendation of government. Follow trusted news channels. Don't keep on looking through or keep on skipping through all the channels and try to get. Don't have a FOMO, fear of missing out. FOMO is something which really troubles you. FOMO. Don't have FOMO. Just follow some trusted news channels and some websites like Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Second thing is that try to reduce how much you watch, listen, read, or listen to news that makes you feel anxious or distressed. You can do it once or twice in a day. That's all. Like morning, what is the update about the last night? And in the evening, what has happened throughout the day? Once or twice a day. You don't need to look at the news regularly again and again. No. Third thing, share responsibility. Share the household duties and chores within the family so that not a single person is overburdened. Work together. Divide your work and responsibilities. That's important. Fourth, set clear boundaries for your time and energy. That is again very important. Time for your work, time for yourself. Now, thing is that when we don't give time to our own self for our exercise, for a meditation, for our prayers, for a walk, then what happens is that we tend to mix the boundaries, and that is the problem comes up. Another important thing which really helps you is that nurture a hobby. A lot of people have got a lot of time in this lockdown. And so make sure whenever you get time, nurture a hobby. If you wanted to read a book, if you wanted to write a book, if you wanted to write some music, some songs, some baking, some painting, some playing an instrument, do it, whether it may be just half an hour in a day. So nurture a hobby. That's important. Don't neglect your hobbies, your talent, your passion. Again, limit your screen time. Keep a check on your screen time. Take time off from social media. And this is also very important while you're having a family time, while you're having a dinner, while you're having a prayer. Make sure you turn your mobile upside down and keep it separately aside so that it does not interfere in your conversation. It does not interfere in your fun time. Recognize your strength by positive self-talk and affirmations. This is something, Hindi mein soman bhi bolte hain, soman, affirmations. This is something very powerful. Few affirmations in the morning, and I say 5 affirmations in the morning and 5 affirmations before you sleep. I'm telling you, it's a magic. 5 affirmations twice a day, morning and night, or whenever you feel low, use affirmations. I'm best. It's my day. Whatever will happen best with me. I will do well. It's my day. All these affirmations gives you power. It helps you release positive chemicals. Then mindfulness, guided imagery and journaling. Journaling is something writing a diary or journaling. This is something really helps you. So you write down your emotions. You write down anything, what is coming in your mind, anything which is troubling you. This is very, very important. You can take advantage of your mobile, you can write in a diary, whatever it is. And so these are the important thing is that, so keeping informed, but make sure you're limiting your news feeds, share your responsibility, set clear boundaries, nurture a hobby, limit your screen time, recognize your strength, positive self-talk and affirmations, and mindfulness. But still, if you have difficulty, then consult a mental health professional. This is another point, leisure. Make sure you get free time for yourself. Remember, COVID has given a lot of free time to a lot of people. And if you're able to take advantage of this free time, a lot of people say, we don't know what to do in this free time. But mark my words, this free time is so important for a lot of people, whether it's early part of the day or whether it's a late part of the day. Anytime, do enjoyable activities that promote rest and relaxation. Reading, knitting, craft, time with a pet. I know so many people, and I can say for myself also, that a lot of people have felt that this lockdown, this COVID has given so much time for your own self when you can invest on yourself, self-investment. It has given time to find or rediscover your hobbies, your own self that you enjoy. I know so many people who said that we have connected with the nature. We sit in balcony and we just keep on looking at the nature. We keep on looking at the birds. It has given us time. We always wanted to write, and this time we have started writing. I know so many people who have taken out their old pictures and make a collage of those pictures or photographies or photographs. So if you're getting a time, make sure you take advantage of this leisure. Enjoy this leisure time. As I was talking about the boundaries, and this is very, very important, especially for the professionals, especially for teachers, especially for doctors, everyone, because if you don't set boundaries, you tend to become chaotic. So first is setting boundary with the time, and second is setting boundary with the space. Now, how do you set boundary with the time? So you're not obligated to give your time limitlessly to those around you. It is not that you have to be available for everyone every time. No. Read your inner cues and know that it is okay to set boundaries with others in order to protect emotional well-being. To your child, to your spouse, okay, we'll talk at 1 o'clock. Every day, 1 o'clock, we'll sit down for family time and we'll talk it out. Okay, let me finish my work and then I will be at 5 o'clock, I'll be free. And then 5 to 6, we can spend time. Create boundaries. If you create boundaries, you will enjoy. That's very, very important. Okay, we'll have dinner at 8 o'clock and after dinner, we'll sit down and talk it out. Or in the morning, at the breakfast time, we'll do it. That is important. And along with that, surround yourself with positivity and affirmations. Come into the space. When we work from home, it can be difficult to differentiate between work and the home. We need to find a specific workspace, like the chair which I'm sitting right now. I make sure I don't sit on this chair after I finish my lecture, webinars, or consultation. So there should be a separate from a leisure space, work or meal time or dinner time or whatever it. Don't use that same space or same chair. Once you're done with that work, do something to clearly mark the end of the day, like close the door or keep your files separately, change your clothes, or go for a small walk in the house, keep your pen and everything or your coat, blazer separately. That means you've finished your work. Once you do these boundaries, it really helps you. And this is very, very important for your own self-care. So setting boundary with the time and setting boundary with the space is important. Now, this is another important point is setting up a worry window. It is something which is also recommended by UNICEF. So write down all your worries, as I was talking about writing a diary or journal. Write down all your worries throughout the day. And then allow yourself to think about them at a specific time of the day. And the best time is the morning, early morning, around 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock or 5 o'clock or whatever time when you get up in the morning. So you're able to check out all your worries. That's what I do. So I get up in the morning. When I get up in the morning, whatever worries I have, I try to sort them out in the morning so that I'm fresh for the whole day. But otherwise, these worries keeps on troubling you. These worries keeps on coming and keeps on brooding and ruminating in your head throughout the day. So write down and settle them down. That's very, very important. Now, another important point I was talking about is social media. This is something, as you know, the social media has gone up. So I just want to say, A lot of social media, a lot of instruments, especially our mobiles, have an app. Take advantage of that app. So you know how much you have used your mobile or social media in a day or a whole week. Another important thing is that turn off your phone, which I was talking about, at certain times of the day, such as when you're driving, in a meeting, having dinner, spending time with offline friends, or playing with your kids. That is important. And the rule is like a stacking. So stack all of your mobiles separately. And once you do it, then you're able to understand each other. You're able to talk out with each other. And mark my words, it really helps to connect with your family members. This is the way only you can share your emotions and feelings. तभी आप बात कर सकते हो, वरना मोबाइल में कुछ ना कुछ आता रहेगा, आप मोबाइल में लगे रहोगे. So make sure that you turn off your phone or keep the phone aside. The third important point, don't bring your phone or tablet to the bed unless there's something emergency or somebody's admitted in the hospital. Turn your devices off and leave them in another room overnight to charge. Because you also have to be careful about electromagnetic frequency and radiations. If we are keeping a phone which is on, we are constantly exposed to electromagnetic frequency and radiations. The fourth important part is disable the social media notification. Because if you kept your phone like this, and if your social media notifications are on, it will keep on buzzing and beeping. This should not be there. And it is difficult for you to concentrate in your work or in your conversations. And limit the check. Don't check every few minutes. Check once in 15 minutes or gradually make it once in 30 minutes or once in an hour. So these are some social etiquettes about using the internet and social media. And the most important part is this, is coping with loss and grief. This is something very, very important, which I want to say as a part of the psychological part. Now, the first part is knowing your feelings are valid. The grief is natural response to loss. There are no right or wrong ways to experience it. There are, of course, commonalities, but our response to loss is different for every person and also for each person we lose. If you lose a friend or lose a relative or lose a neighborhood or lose your own brother, sister, or parent, the response is different. So know that, validate your feelings. It's natural. It's natural that whatever feelings you will have, you will go through it. The second important point is that understand that sudden loss is shocking and difficult to comprehend. Like I lost my brother. We were not ready for it. And suddenly, on 20th April at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we came to know that my brother is no more. I got a call from the hospital. Being a doctor, it was so difficult. It was the whole responsibility was on me to disclose to my mother, to my bhabi, to my sister-in-law, to my brother, to my other brother, and to all my relatives. So because I was a doctor, so I had to inform everyone. So after a painful loss, it's easy to imagine ways it didn't have to happen. When a loved one dies suddenly under difficult circumstances, as it is happening with COVID-19 death, it happened in the month of April, May, the tendency to get caught up in imagining all kinds of alternative scenarios is even stronger. And accept that some things are not in our control. That you did whatever best you could do it. You did best of the treatments. You consulted the doctor, whatever was available to you. You have to talk, you have to tell to yourself, you need to accept that what you cannot change. This means accepting the death, but also the presence of the pandemic and its consequences. That pandemic has taken people. Nobody knew it, that who will develop the COVID pneumonia. Nobody was aware who will go on ventilator. Nobody was aware. People thought that we'll get treatment and we'll be fine. That's what. So some things are not in our control. So we have to validate our feelings. We have to understand that sudden loss is shocking and difficult to comprehend, and we know some things are not in our control. The fourth important part is watch out for thoughts that can derail your healing process, especially the guilt, survivor guilt, self-blame. I still remember those initially 5 days, I was feeling a lot of survivor guilt. That why my brother went away, I couldn't save him. I being a doctor, I knew so many people. He was in Mulchan and Gangaram hospital, I couldn't save him. Did I do something wrong? I could have done more, something to him to save him. Everything we tried, but still I was getting that blame, guilt, anger. That you need to pick up those thoughts and work on them. That these thoughts should not derail your healing process. Imagining ways that things could have done differently. losing faith in yourself or others, excessive avoidance of reminders of the loss, and extreme social isolation. These all are very, very common. So we need to pick up them. Don't let guilt overwhelm you. That's important. Survivor guilt. This is very natural, but it is something to notice and pay attention to while trying. And one of the most simple way you can do it is writing a letter. Take a piece of paper and write a letter to the person whom you have lost, to the loved one whom you have lost, and just write whatever feelings you're coming, whatever you want to say, whether you're angry, whether you love him, whatever emotions you have, just write down, half page, 2 page, 3 page, 4 page, whatever. And after that, do write, always your loving Deepak, always your forever, your Deepak. And then close that letter, fold that letter, and then just keep it inside your almirah forever. And then you will find, once you do this, you will do a closure. Your emotions will settle down. You will feel complete with yourself. Because this, if you're incomplete with yourself, if you don't do a closure to a grief, it will keep on tormenting and troubling you. That's one of the biggest thing, and that leads to depression. That leads to anxiety disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, sleep problems. And you start losing hope, you start losing motivation, you start losing nothing can be done. That is important. So with the letter, you can close yourself. The another important point is stick to routines. Once all the rituals are done, make sure you're back to your work. Make sure that whatever things you were doing before, you start again from morning to evening, from your morning exercise to your work, to talking to people, to dinner together, sleeping, everything on time, start doing together. It is important to grieve over the death of a loved one, but it's also important to understand that life goes on. This might take a while, but you need to allow yourself to have joy and satisfaction in life again. Doing rituals is very, very important. Do the rituals. Whatever rituals you can do in this difficult time. But after the rituals, stick back to routines. That's important. And the last important point is connecting with other people. Like doing a ceremony, connecting with other people on Skype, on Zoom, inviting people to call, host conference calls with other family members. Don't avoid them, talk to them. When you talk to them, you feel lighter. When you talk to them, you will be able to connect with other people. It's a part of the grieving process. Coordinate a date and time for family and friends to honor your loved one by reciting a selected poem. See, when I lost my brother, we did a Uthauni on the 23rd of April. And my bhabi, she made a poem for her husband. And she told that how she misses him. And she told in that poem, now she will be the father and mother for my 2 nephews and niece, who is 21 and 26. And she will take care of them. Helps you. And spiritual reading or prayer with your own households. So in that way, you're able to connect. So validate your feelings, understanding it's shocking and difficult to comprehend, accepting that some things are not in our control. Watch out for thoughts that can derail your healing process. Correct? Don't let guilt overwhelm you. Stick to connecting with other people. These are some of the ways you can handle your grief.
I didn't catch that. Could you try again?
Now, coming to the social perspective. So we talked about the physical part, we talk about psychological part. Now the important part is social distancing, social part. See, the COVID has taught us social distancing, but not social isolation. We have to maintain a social distancing, but while physical and social distancing can inevitably lead to less and physical contact with friends, family, and cherished relationship, it does not mean that you have to socially isolate yourself. And please get connected. See, this is the time I always tell, कोविड ने हमें इतना कुछ सिखाया है जो हमने कभी सोचा भी नहीं था. So I always tell to everyone, जो भी मन में गिले शिकवे हैं, जो भी नाराजगी है, जो भी any annoyance, any grievance, any anger, whatever you have for anyone, please drop it. Don't carry. COVID has taught us so many lessons. Whether it's a lower socioeconomic, whether it's upper socioeconomic, whether it's any profession, COVID has taught us the new ways of living. So please get connected with people. अपने गिले शिकवे को छोड़ दो, रिश्तों को जोड़ो. Stay connected. How? Use apps, use programs, use FaceTime, Zoom, the way we are, the way we, all the teachers, the 100 teachers are sitting out here. I feel so good to see my old teachers. I was feeling so good. I tell you, I was feeling so happy. Same way, when you connect with people, you feel good. Friends, families, जिसको मन चाहे उसको फोन कर डालो. Whomever you want to talk, just give a call, just message. Don't hesitate, because this is the time to build connections. This is the time to build relationship. Eat meal together. A family who eats together, a family who prays together, we know, but I always say a family who eats meal together, a family who have fun together, always stays together. It's not only praying together, it's also eating meals together. It's also having fun together. It's also having talk together, talk time. So make a talk time. That's important in a family. Any talk time for half an hour, twice a day, or Sunday, whatever, Saturday, and then talk that time, either with the people you are staying at home or through online means. People have done online tambola, online antakshri, online games, online ludos, and they feel so good about it. When you talk to people, don't talk about COVID, please. Talk about how you feel. Ask others how they're feeling. कैसा लग रहा है आपको? अब सब लोग घर में ठीक है ना? आप बताओ क्या चल रहा है? कैसा लग रहा है आपको? क्या करते हो आप? कैसे पूरा दिन क्या करते हो? Talk about them. Don't talk about COVID. It's time to connect with them, not with COVID. Tell others, and this is important, tell others how grateful or thankful you are for them. If they would have helped you in the COVID time, just send a grateful message, thankful message, and find creative ways to do this, ways in which you and others can feel loved and appreciated. So important part is social distancing, but also social connections. That's important. And the fourth important domain, which I believe is the most important thing, is spiritual domain. This is the time people who believe in spirituality, people who have kept this as a backbone, has been able to sail through easily. So meditation, prayer, very, very important. And the best time to meditate is early morning, 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning. That's called Brahma Muhurat. That is the time the energy is at the best level. So meditate in the morning. I tell you, it's so peaceful. It's so silent. There's no honking. There's no sounds. And you pray and meditate at that time. And that prepares you for the whole day. Your whole sympathetic system gets settled down. And once the sympathetic system is at control, you are ready for the whole day. You're charged up for the whole day. Prayers. I still remember my days in St. Xavier School when I learned about the prayers in the mornings. Going to the church, prayer. Reflections. Reflect on yourself. Sit down for half an hour, 1 hour, whatever time you get free time. Just sit down. You don't have to be occupied always. And then reflect on yourself. Just think about. Just let whatever thoughts are coming, let them come. And these reflections are very, very important. And the fourth important point, which I learned in this whole lockdown, is connecting with the nature, as I was talking about. If you have balcony, just sit down in the balcony and keep on looking at the birds. Keep on looking at the trees. Gardening. When you connect with the nature, you feel so much positivity. And that is important. So meditation, prayer, time with nature, and reflection all helps you to make strong. And another last important point is attitude of gratitude. This is very, very important. Many people around the globe are earning their living on a daily basis, literally living from hand to mouth. Those individually simply can't afford or allow themselves or not to work or stay at home. Lack of protective equipment, not even access to clean water, soap is reality, which unfortunately is true for many people. But we are the lucky ones. Bhagwan ne hame itna kuch diya. God has given us so much. Therefore, we should not forget that even the ability to self-isolate or of quarantine is a privilege. So we should be thankful, because this gratitude changes everything. It means someone has a home or shelter in place and could allow themselves to stop or reduce working or to work from home. And that is important, is that when we do gratitude, we get grounded. And this gives us power. This changes everything. So this sense of gratitude, gratefulness, really, really helps you. So after all these things of physical, psychological, social, and spiritual. These are some of the apps, because we are living in a techno world. So there are a lot of apps are available, and some of them are free also. We can take advantage of these apps like Calm, CALM, Headspace, Strides, MyFitness, Grateful. So these are the apps which helps in meditation, mindfulness, habit tracker, health, and gratitude journal. And you can download on Apple or Android phones, and you can track yourself. But still, if you're having a difficulty, if still you're having persistent, overwhelming anxiety, low mood more than 2 weeks, severely withdrawn or isolated, physical symptoms without organic basis, headaches going on, drastic change in appetite and sleep patterns, self-harm thoughts, suicidal thoughts, highly aggressive behavior, flashbacks and nightmares, please consult a mental health professional, counselor, psychologist, psychiatrist. And now we even have a free helplines. There's so many free helplines which are available. You don't have to pay. You just have to consult. And as a ex-Zavarian, has got so much from school, I can always tell you that I'm always available for everyone. Though I'm a child and adolescent psychiatrist, I only work with children less than 20 years, but still, in my best to best capacity, I can help everyone in mental health issues. So remember, lots of things have gone, but a lot of things have not been cancelled. So this COVID and this lockdown, music is still there. Family time is still there. Reading is there. Singing is there. Laughter is there. Laughing. And the most important thing, the hope is there. So make sure you enjoy them. To all the amazing people and my teachers, my senior teachers and my colleagues, and the principal, vice principal, and the brother, I can only say, all the amazing people sitting, 102 people, you are braver than you believe, and stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. Thank you very much. Say no to coronavirus anxiety.
Thank you, Dr. Deepak, for your message. And it was not just a message, it was also an eye opener. It was also an inspiration. So, what we realize is that Corona is not just a medical condition,
Jitin, we can't hear
it has
you.
its own. Oh, I think I have some internet. Now, can you hear me? Okay, I have some internet issue.
Prabjit, can you hear Jitin? I don't know. I can't hear.
Now, Jitin, we can hear you, but in the your voice is breaking.
And now it's clear.
My voice is breaking. Yeah. Actually, it's flashing this internet issue.
I think
I can hear. I can hear.
You can hear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So as I was saying, that it has its cascading effect. It's and thank you, Doctor, for touching upon all the aspects of different effects, like be it be psychological, be it be spiritual. And one thing, like what I, after seeing this, is that though everything is not a very specialized kind of advice, these are all very basic, important, but the apparently what we choose is that we choose to having known everything, we choose to ignore it according to our convenience. Take the example of social media. As doctor said, that keep your phone away, especially away from the bed, because of the radioactive issue. But how many of us follow and practice that? At least I don't. And the last thing which I get is that, we ourselves are the first doctors. We ourselves have, we first have to accept if there is an issue. We have to accept there is an issue and try, try to resolve ourselves. And then it is only later, after an extent, it's where we have to get the help of a specialist. So once again, thank you, doctor. So please write in the chat box if there is any sort of queries or questions. So I will put it across, or you can use a raise hand option. You can I can unmute you. Yes. Uh,
Etienne, shall I come in?
yes, Father.
Uh, yes. Uh, Dr. Pradeep, you have done a good job. My question is the pandemic has created such a situation where children are almost locked up within the four walls for a longer time. So that has created some kind of confinement, and that has also changed the mindset of the child. So now children are begin to respond in a bit of an aggressive way. How are we going to rectify those behavioral attitude of the child? The children like to play, run around, and express their desire and burn out their energy by playing, running around. But they were being caught up within four walls, and now they got disturbed to certain extent. So, do you have any idea how to help the child to come back to the normal level?
See, Father, in this scenario, because it has already been going for last 15 months, it's been 15 months since we are going this, and we don't know how long will it go. We don't know with another 3 months, we don't know 2022, we don't know April 22, we don't know about it. So I think we need to revamp the whole thing, and we have to understand the whole scenario. And that's why family has to understand the whole scenario. So on that, the first important thing is, which is that is a good communication between the family and the child. When the family and the child sit down, because it's not only the children are feeling agitated, even the adults are feeling agitated, Father.
Yeah, yeah,
Even adults are feeling very jittery to get out of the house.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Even I know that when November, December things were settling down, people were just going for the hill stations and out of this, driving back, parties started, marriages started, and everything got out of control in the month of November, December, January. That's what happened. So even not only, so we don't have to just blame children. So as a human beings, as human race, as a family, we need to revamp the whole thing. And the one thing is communication. Tell to the children that we know we can understand you're getting agitated. Even we are. Let's talk it out. And that's why I was emphasizing a family time is very, very important. And I can say from my own 15 months, I have two daughters. The elder one is in the second year. She just finished second year. Then the younger one is in class 12th. She's in class 12th. I can say in these last 15 months, I've learned so much more from my own daughters. So many things I've learned from them. But this would not have been possible if I would not have spent time with them. And even I was agitated, anxious on them, some of their behaviors. They were agitated on my behavior. And we were able to sort it out when we talked out. Some places I said sorry to them, apologies, मुझे माफ कर दो, गलती हो गई बेटा. Somewhere they said sorry to me, and that went on. So it is not only one, it is not one side affair. It is like working in like a partnership, bhagidari. We need to work. That's one thing. Second important thing is, Father, is role models. If parents want their children to be calmed down, if parents want their children to be relaxed, they have to themselves be relaxed. If you're talking to your spouse, to your parents, to your in-laws, rudely, roughly, aggressively, how will children will be calmed down? They will learn what they're seeing in those four walls. So you have to be respectful to your parents, respectful to your spouse, respectful to your maids. You should be thankful to your maids, whoever is coming and helping you in your household chores, to kuda wala, the garbage picker. Everyone you should be respectful, gratitude. When your children sees this, you see a change in them. But if you don't practice them, then you can't. And the third most important point is, Father, sleep. Why children are getting more aggressive and agitated? Because they're not getting adequate sleep. They sleep at 4 o'clock and then they get up at 8:30, 8:45 for 9 o'clock classes. They don't have to take shower. They just get ready, wear whatever shirt and all. Under they are wearing the Bermudas and all. They're not ready and they clean and they comb a little bit. A lot of times the screens are off. Teacher saying, please switch on your camera, switch on your camera, switch on your camera. Okay, ma'am, yes, okay, ma'am. And that's what. They're not fresh. They're busy on the other mobile. They're playing house games and other parties, other things they're doing it. They're chatting. That's what. So these three things are important: communication, role models, and third, adequate sleep. If these three things are well taken, gradually their system will settle down. We can't let them go out. The parks are closed. So we need to bring this new restructure in the house. And Father, it works. The families who have done it, it works. I can tell you. I can, with my own personal and professional experience after working with so many families and including my own family, it really works, Father.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you.
Right. Doctor, what about those children who are, who are exposed to different sort of exploitation? I mean, it could be different exploitation. So, what about those students when they come to school or when they come to online classes? We as teachers, we are not aware of that. But how to deal with these students who are, exposed to all these kind of exploitation?
See, Jitin, we will not be aware of it because unless parents don't communicate to us, because we are doing online. So teachers are taking online classes. So right now there are 100 people sitting, 102 people sitting in my webinar lecture. I'm only few cameras are on. Only few cameras are on. And in one go, I can see only 20, 25 people. I need to just keep on, scrolling my screen. I can't see. So problem is that you're not able to, and you're teaching. And online teaching is again a difficult job. It's not easy. So you're busy on your teaching. So a lot of times you will not be able to pick up the cues. The only way you can pick up is like 2, 3 ways. One, if you get a call from parents that something is wrong with my child, he's not attending classes, or he's getting withdrawn, or he's not interested in studies, or he has totally lost interest in studies. That could be the one cue. The second cue could be if the parent says that my child has become very aggressive and very, very rough. That could be the thing. So these two are there. And for you, what you can come to know through other children. If you as a teacher, other children tell you, sir, something is wrong with Nitin. Please look into it. Something is doing wrong. That's the only way you can come to know. But if the screen is on, like the way the screen is on, you can, through non-verbal cues, you can pick it up. If through the non-verbal cues, a child who was very bubbly before, a child who was very talkative before, a child who used to ask a lot of questions in the class, but suddenly has stopped asking questions. It suddenly doesn't show interest in the class. It's not doing its submissions on time. You should be alert that there's something going wrong in this child's life. So these are some of the soft indicators I can tell by which you can pick it up. Some of the soft indicators.
Definitely, Doctor. We all teachers agree that the online teaching is not something which is just restricted to teaching, but also keeping our eyes and ears open that
Absolutely.
what is going around. Why the children, as you said, an example, a child who is active now is not, so that should raise questions.
And the last thing is, and the
Doctor,
last
you
thing is
have
always,
already
sorry,
mentioned about
one more, Jitin. Always respect the sixth sense. We all know that. If your sixth sense is saying that something is wrong with this child,
right.
please probe into it. Please probe into it. That sixth sense is something will always tell that there's something going dicey and fishy in this child's life. It's good to talk for 5 minutes after the class. So say, okay, Nitin, I want to talk to you for 5 minutes after class. Maybe that may sort it out.
Right. So just though, Doctor, you have given the testimony of losing your brother, how hard it was. Like, though it is, we cannot forget the memories, the found memories and all. But how to come back to life. Yes, you have mentioned there are certain steps and all. How to come back to life, like as a teacher, when I lose somebody and the next, maybe after a few days, I have to take my classes. Probably I am a teacher where I have to teach nursery rhymes and all bubbly things and all. Is it how, to have that switch over, 180 degree switch over, how difficult it is can after losing a loved one?
See, for me, also it was very difficult. It was not easy. He was my elder brother, just few years elder to me, and spending 24 days in hospitals, running, talking. We still lost him, Jitin. So the first thing what I did after that is that once, as I told you, don't get that guilt in yourself. If that guilt comes in you, even which I think Richa is, I think, put post one question on that thing is that yes. So if the guilt comes in you, it is like a termite. वो दीमक की तरह आपको खोखला कर देगा, खा जाएगा आपको. So don't let the guilt into yourself. If the guilt comes, the important thing is that talk to yourself is that you did whatever best you could do. And second thing is that some things are not in your control. It was destined to happen, it happened. That something gives you power. That it is, if these questions doesn't have answer, that why it happened only with my family, why it didn't happen with others' family, why it happened only with my brother, with my sister, with my parents. No, we don't have the answer. The only answer we have is that it was destined to happen, it happened. And that's one of the best answer. Otherwise, you'll say, no, medical system was at fault, we didn't get remdesivir, we didn't get plasma, the doctor was negligent, there was oxygen supply was not there. Nothing will help. It will only create hatred and anger in you. And this hatred and anger will come out somewhere. I knew what was happening inside Gangaram hospital. Despite that, I was in connect with the doctor 3 times in a day. In ICU, I was talking. I knew it when there was a crisis of emergency of oxygen happening, Richa. And at the same time, I knew it. But then that was, I couldn't have gone to the ICU and put oxygen. It happened, it had to happen. It didn't happen only with my brother, it happened with so many people. And so many people came out. My neighbor who is staying upstairs, he after 1 month of fight, he came back 2 days back. He's 63-year-old. He just came back. He's fine now, but still having a little bit difficulty. But yes. So the second thing is that, yes, it had to happen. It happened. The third most important thing is that after doing the rituals, the basic rituals. Once you do the basic rituals, you get closure. And in the rituals, one of the things is writing a letter. Please do write a letter. And that is the way you can write all your memories, or call your memories in that letter. Remember, the body has gone, but the memories has not gone. Only the body has gone. The good qualities of that person will never go away. Remember, the soul is always there. So only we have just cremated the body. That's all. The whatever good things we have done. And the same thing I tell to my brother, my bhabi, my brother, my sister-in-law, everyone. Remember, whatever good time you have spent in the last 50 years with that person. Remember that, cherish those memories. That will give you power. And whatever good thing that person has, take it forward. If he wanted to do something good and you can do it, take it forward. So remember that taking forward the good things of that person will help you. Another important point is getting back to rituals, getting back to your routine. So when we did Uthavni on 23rd of April, next day I started seeing the patients. And I was back to the webinars. And I started talking about my own grief to people. Because I was taking a lot of lectures on the grief, COVID-19, self-care. And I was doing my self-disclosure, the way I'm disclosing right now. And this was helping me myself to overcome that anxiety. When I was sharing with other people, it was giving me so much of relaxation. It was normalizing my life. So these are some of the things which you can do. So important thing is that, and Jitin, I tell you, when you do all these things, you're able to come back. Remember, you have lost, but then it is not your fault. You did whatever best you could do. That's why you don't have all the answers in medical field. That's why it's a combination of medical, wherever the medicine ends, the spirituality begins. जहाँ मेडिसिन का दायरा खत्म होता है, वहाँ स्पिरिचुअलिटी का दायरा शुरू होता है. When you don't get answer in medical field, you get answer in spiritual field. And no second thought on that.
All right. Thank you, Doctor. So no other question, I believe. Thank you, Doctor, once again. Now I hand over for vote of thanks to the coordinator of activities, Mrs. K.C. Maya, to deliver vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
On behalf of all the staff members, I would like to express my profound gratitude to our guest today, Dr. Deepak Gupta, for having consented to take time out of his busy schedule and share with us such powerful insights into the multiple views of mental health. You can't be there for others if you don't take care of yourself first. I thank Sir for such an enlightening session on mental health concerns, strategies, and practice tips on how to be resilient, how to overcome the crisis, and how to adapt mindful strategies, the importance of the 4 A's, the 4 domains, affirmations, the worry window, setting boundaries with respect to time and space, giving a closure to grief, connecting with people, the attitude of gratitude, and much more. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Father Jose Philip, our rector, Father Principal, Father Jose TJ, Vice Principal, Mrs. Shobha Miranda, Coordinator of Academics, Sir Das, Headmaster, Father Brito, Director, Prep Department, Sister Kiran, Assistant Headmistress, Mrs. Mona Ray, Assistant Director, Prep Department, Mrs. Vedi, for gracing the occasion as well as for their moral support and guidance. A special word of thanks goes out to Mrs. Prabjit Kaur, our school counselor, for having arranged the seminar at a time when we needed it the most, as most of us are still trying to find our way back to normal life after having gone through some life-changing experiences inflicted by the pandemic. A word of appreciation goes out to Mr. Jitin S. George for moderating the questions, and Mr. Karthik and his e-care team for the technical support. From what I have gathered from this seminar, you don't have to be positive all the time. It's perfectly okay to feel sad, angry, annoyed, frustrated, scared, and anxious. Having feelings does not make you negative. It makes you human. Healing takes time, and asking for help is a courageous step. I'm sorry. Thank you.